Hi, welcome to the channel. My name's John. Today what I'm going to be looking at is options for doing macro photography. Quite a few lenses have got macro on them, but they're not true macro. They'll do fairly close up, but not really close up. 1:1. 1:1 would be if you have an insect 10mm across, it would show as being 10mm across on your sensor. It's going to be 1:1. And it's quite an incredible thing too. It's when you see pictures and you can see a fly's face or its eyes. What a lot of people do for macro, they'll get a lens. I mean, this is a Canon 24-105 L series lens. You don't have to be a lens of that sort of standard, and you can move it away from the camera body, which makes it into a macro lens, and you can use these. And what these are, these fit between the lens and the camera, and there's different sizes. You can add them together, you can stack them. The more you put there, the closer in you get, but you lose light. Okay, so it does make things a bit awkward, because ideally for macro you need to be getting down to f8 and f11s to get a little bit of depth of field, because with macro there's virtually none. So these things are great. Now you can get these on Temu and places, and you get cheap ones which are, I mean, all they are is a ring. There's no lens in them. You can see there, if I take that off, it's just a ring. Okay. But as you can see there, they've got the Canon, the electronics there, so your lens will still work as it should. And these are beautifully polished, and these are genuine Canon rings. You can get a set of 3 rings on Temu or something for about, I don't know, £15 delivered, maybe less. These might be, for the bigger one there, might be about £100, about 75 for that new. But you can get them second hand quite cheap, or cheapish. But these click together nicely. The switch is nice, that releases it. They are good. The downside of using rings on a lens like this is when you come to focus on something, you can be literally that close to the lens. You might have to be a few millimeters away from your lens. Now if you're doing that and you're using a flash, the flash can't get to the subject because the lens is covering it. You'd have to have a ring flash around here, or one to the side, etc. So whilst these are very, very good at getting you in close, you can be a little bit too close with them. So the prime lenses that you can get, like the Canon 100mm prime lens, f2.8, is phenomenal, fantastic. You can be 11 or 12 inches away from your subject doing your macro, which is a real bonus, because you can now use flash just on camera, or you can use ring flash again, and it gets you right in close, and the shadow of your lens isn't going to cover your subject. Now the Canon lenses, obviously, as you know, are quite expensive, and I was doing quite a bit of research around the different lenses, and an alternative would be a Sigma, which is this one. This is the Sigma 105mm lens. It isn't as refined as the Canon lens, in that the image stabilization, you can hear click 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 click, the motors whirring and going about doing the image stabilization. If you're on a tripod, turn off image stabilization, you just don't need it. If you're not on a tripod, you've got autofocus on here, and again the autofocus you can hear. But again, for macro, sometimes it's better to work without the autofocus. Set your focus and just move until the camera's in focus, then do your pictures. Everyone's personal preference. But this lens, this is the Sigma, these are £400 new. The Canon 105 will be about £1,200 new. Second hand, £600. This new 400, like I say, second hand, maybe £260. The Canon you could get for about £550 brand new as a grey import, but it won't be on, it won't have a UK guarantee, so you are taking a gamble on a grey import. Some places are selling the Canon cameras lenses as second hand, but they are second hand grey import, and they charge you more than you could get one for second hand, brand new. A grey import Canon 100mm lens is about £550 to £600 on buy. So that's quite a saving on the UK price. Anyway, back to this lens. So this is the Sigma 105 f2.8 lens. It's got a lens hood there which unscrews there, comes off, and turn it round obviously. You do get on an extra piece which extends that. If you're not using a full frame camera, you can extend that. If you're getting really close to stuff and you don't want this on and the lighting's good, then you maybe don't even need to use it. But with this now, you can be talking about 12 inches from your subject. Obviously take off that distance as well, because if that brings you down to about, you know, 10 inches, 9 inches, something like that, because of the thickness of the width of that. So that is the lens. Quite your usual switches on it. You've got full autofocus, which does the full range of autofocus. Then you've got the what distance is that? 0.45 meters to infinity, and then you've got 0.312 to 0.45 of a meter. So for the really close-up stuff, you put the switch to for the very close-up, and what that does, it limits the range of autofocus. You're telling it I'm about this distance, so it doesn't have to hunt as far. If it's looking from infinity to 12 inches, it can take quite a while to hunt around. So having that switch in the right position if you're using autofocus is quite important. The optical stabilization there, you've got two positions. I think position 1 is for panning, position 2 is for up, down and panning. Okay, you'd have to just check that. I'm not sure which way around that one is. So if you're panning an aircraft, you have it on one switch, and if you've got something that's all over the place like a moth, then you might need to do that. I will put up some pictures of the quality of this, and I've only just started using this myself, and just trying to get used to it. And I was dead lucky because I found a tiny little frog and also a moth where I got a picture. It looks like it's got a real face. So what I'll do, I'll just mount this on the camera, and let's see if we can actually hear it doing the hunting, etc. when I'm doing the focus. Okay, so this lens is a Canon fit. If you're going to use an R5 or any of the mirrorless cameras, you'll need to use one of these adapters. So it's not an RF fit, although you can buy RF lenses in the Canon and these, but this is the adapter which makes it go onto this camera body. Okay. The lens itself weighs about 1.5 pounds. It's quite a heavy lens. It is quite solid. I think it's 12 groups of bits of glass in it. 12 element groups. I think it's not showing how many pieces there are in total. But anyway, so if I turn on the camera and I'll go for the close-up focus, and I'll put the optical stabilization on, and there's an autofocus switch on and off as well there. I don't know if you can hear this. I can hear it. I hope you can on there. It's only very slight, like a. It's fairly fast focus, and give you an idea of closeness now. I'll move this to the GoPro just to see how close I have to get, or how close I am for getting a focus. So there now, just that's in focus there now on the GoPro. So it gives me a good distance from the thing, so I'm like, there's 9 inches there away from it. Whereas with this on, I would literally have to be right up to it there. Okay. It does seem good. I'm quite pleased with the results from it up to now, as you'll see from the couple of pictures I'm just going to post. Like I say, one is a common frog, and it literally is tiny. It's about 10mm. And the other is this moth, which was quite big, but you can zoom right in on the picture, and you better get the video on full screen. You better see it. So that's the Sigma. It's the 105 2.8 DG macro HSM. Now, for stabilization as well, if you're using some of the cameras like the mirrorless cameras where they've got in body stabilization, it does mean that, like yesterday, handheld, I was taking those pictures on f8. And it was a dull day. Okay, the ISO turned right up, but it was on f8, and the pictures are quite good from it, and quite sharp, and good edge to edge sharpness. If you look at some reviews on them, if you use it at f2.8, it's not great around the edges. F4, it straightens out a bit. By the time you get to F8, F11, you're on the sweet spot. And again, you can lose a bit if you start getting right down to F22s or whatever else. So that's the Sigma lens. I think it's nice. One weird thing with it, I mean, I know I never do this anyway, but some people have the lens cover on back to front. If that's on back to front and you want to manual focus, you can't, because the focus ring is there. Okay, so putting that on back to front isn't going to help you. So if you need a lens hood, put it on. If you don't need it, just take it off. So yeah, I love it. It's a great piece of kit. It's not weather sealed like the Canon, but even the Canons can get bits of dust in. So these, it's like any lens. I mean, I've got no dust in any of my lenses because I look after them. When you're not using it, put it away in the bag. You know, I mean, there's this crazy lens here, which is a tilt shift lens, and that's, if you look in there, it's quite open at the back. There's quite a lot of gaps and spaces for dust to get in, but it always has the lens covers on. It goes in a bag, it goes in the camera bag. So if you look after your lenses, you shouldn't have any issues with dust, etc. So I hope that's been interesting for you. I hope it's been useful to you. Please let me know in the comments if there's any questions you've got, or if you do like the video, like, subscribe, do whatever. It's most appreciated, and look forward to seeing you for the next video. Thank you very much for watching.